just cavity concoctions.
I think I'm gonna get like some, not a lot, but I think I'm gonna get some slack for this video. I don't care, actually. I've been sort of straying away from like a lot of punk culture for the last year, and I think that's due to me sort of like growing up and getting older and realizing like, maybe I'm losing passion. But I'm also thinking like, damn, you guys are starting to kind of annoy me a little bit. I get older and I'm like, this shit is kind of corny. I don't know. Like, I still like the music and shit, and I still respect the passion, I suppose, but like, maybe this shit ain't for me. I don't know, man. Ugh. I'm aware that like a lot of punk culture is supposed to surround sort of being inclusive and being open to a lot of things like ethnicity and race and sexuality and whatever. Gender, you know? And it's also supposed to be very like accepting of like beginners and stuff like that, and it's very like a non-gatekeepy kind of thing. But I feel like with this acceptance has sort of come the fact that like people have become pretty sensitive, to be honest. I made this video like nearly a year ago making fun of like Pinterest battle jackets, which is like, I thought they were super cringe and awful, and apparently people didn't like that. You're really writing a 2-paragraph long hate comment over me making fun of like anime and Among Us patches. Like, okay, if you're getting that offended over like the little things, I think that maybe you need to grow up, to be honest. It's got to the point where you've gotten so accepting of things where it's like, if I make fun of the tiniest little thing, it's like you guys take it as if it's like I've just said a fucking slur or something. Like, Jesus, just learn to have a laugh, dude. It's really not that serious. I don't think there was anything in that video that I said that was even like mildly offensive. I was just like laughing at patches, like Radiohead patches on a pair of crust pants, or like Deftones, which in and itself would have been bad, but they were spelt deft tones. Come on.
What the fuck? Deftones? No way! What the hell?
Tell me that shit isn't funny, dude. Come on. Keep in mind this is a genre which is supposedly supposed to be very edgy and very anti-culture and shit. Whoa. And it's like had like loads of like offensive lyrics and shit. I don't understand. Which obviously I don't agree with, like just saying racial slurs for the sake of being edgy or whatever, you know? But punk in the past has like used a lot of edgy imagery for shock value to get a point across. And I feel like this sort of reflected the attitude that they had of like not caring what anyone thinks and rejecting like societal norms, like being offended by certain things. And now it seems like the genre needs to be very sort of PG and very non-offensive, in order to protect like beginners and stuff, you know? And it went from a genre that was like not caring what anyone thinks and dressing differently and acting differently because they didn't care what people think, to now actually very much caring what people think, you know? And that's why I feel like punk has turned into like a very all bark, no bite community. They have like loads of imagery of like rioting and beating up police officers, but they literally won't do that. Like, they have like loads of edgy imagery of like shooting your local rapist or like beating up a police officer, but they're like offended by very minute things, like having a patch that says like kill your local Nazi or like kill your local rapist, and now you have a Nazi rapist as your president. What are you gonna do about that? Nothing. They'll make TikToks acting as if they're gonna do something about it, you know, teaching people how to tie a bandana and like teaching people how to riot. By the way, giving the worst advice I think I've ever seen. Just the fucking dumbest advice from people who clearly have never rioted. And we all know damn well you're not gonna riot. We all know damn well you're not gonna do shit about it, you know? Like, you've been talking about like rioting and shit for the last like 8 years since Donald Trump became president like last time, and you guys still haven't done shit. It gives the same vibes as those like fat 30-year-olds who thought they were gonna invade Area 51, when in reality it was just a bunch of people like Naruto running across the fucking road. Like, just talking about like cute winter boots. Jesus, shut up, dude. You're not gonna fucking riot. We all know you're not gonna fucking riot. Fucking all bark, no bite, dude. There seems to be a lot of complaining online about things, but you guys actually don't do anything in real life to help solve this. You just complain about it online, which is like, to me, that explains punk. That explains punk right there for you. It's just like moaning and not taking any action. And then when you do take action, it's for fucking dumb shit, dude. Like, you're gonna sit in the middle of the road with a cardboard sign, or fucking chain yourself to like the road or something, instead of doing something to maybe hinder the top 1% from carrying out with destroying our planet. You are just inconveniencing the local man trying to get to work and feed his kids. Good on you, bro. Wow, you're a real warrior for that one. Now, let me just preface this by saying I don't like either the Unabomber or Luigi Mangione, okay? I don't like either of them. I think they're both bad people, objectively, for they're murderers, you know? But they actually did something, you know? They practiced what they preached, you know? They didn't fucking post online about it. They just they did it. And the same with, like, right-wingers. Like, I fucking hate those people. I think they're all a bunch of morons who are just following Trump's orders, right? But they actually got up and stormed the Capitol, okay? Leftists and punks would never do that, okay? They would just post online acting like they're gonna do it and then not do it. So anytime I see a patch that's like bullets with like deny, defend, oppose written inside them, or like shoot your local rapist, or like beat up your local Nazi, it's like, yeah, right, dude. Yeah, fucking right, you would do that. Like, they have a very sort of hive mind mindset, you know? They don't actually think of the ideology of punk a whole lot. Like, anarchism? Really? You really think anarchism would fucking work? We've trialed communism many times and we know it doesn't work, okay? So you deadass think anarchism is gonna work? The more I get into the punk community and the more I get into the politics of it, the more it seems like you guys just don't have any idea what you guys are talking about. And I'll say this once, I'll say it again, okay? I think SCL Punk is the perfect punk film. It's the perfect representation of like the contradictions within the punk attitude and mindset, right? Where like Steve-O, who's presented as like the most punk guy ever with like the clothing, and he's like squatting in an abandoned home and like supposedly super passionate about what he's doing and shit. And then he actually doesn't do anything to help anyone in the film, you know? He's just like squatting in a fucking home like a bum, doesn't get a job. Like, what is he? How does that help anyone? Whereas Mike, for example, he doesn't dress punk. He doesn't really do anything that comes across as very punk. He's not particularly into the music or whatever. He's the most caring guy in that film, let me say. Because he actually wants to go to university to learn about botany, to learn how he can help save the rainforest. And Steve-O, he fucking judges him because what? Oh, college is a scam. And it's abiding with the system. Like, shut the fuck up, dude. That's how a lot of you punks think, and it's just nonsensical to me. Like, I still hold my stance with, like, anti-consumerism and stuff, and how, like, fast fashion is really bad for the environment and for the workers and whatever, you know? But I have, like, two friends who are, like, really into politics, right? One of them being more right-wing and another being more left-wing, right? And I feel like they've both influenced my mind on, like, a grander scale in terms of, like, understanding how economics actually works and, like, understanding how to manage a population in a more like financially viable way. And I feel like the more I learn from them, the more I start to realize that like punks aren't actually doing anything to help the cause. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, their heart might be in the right place with like wanting equality between classes and shit, but it's like they don't actually know anything about anything. I don't know. I mean, yeah, that's just some of my thoughts. Like, I don't know. I think all punks at some point are going to grow out of their phase, to be honest. As much as I hate to admit it, I think it is a phase. That's why I kind of prefer metal. You might still enjoy the music. I know I still enjoy punk music and listening to punk music, but I'm just not as, like, passionate. But it's whatever, man. I mean, that's just my opinion. Don't think too deeply about it, man. Peace. Whatever. Deuces. Xiao Hongshu.